Hey guys, it's Derek here. Oh, sorry if this isn't the normal setup, but this box was way too big for me to film in my normal spot in my room. So here we go. This is a holy grail of mine that I finally got my hands on. I had to pay a lot of money for it though, about $3,000, which is way more than retail, but here it is. This is the Jimei Palace Enel. Let's cut into them. So a bit of backstory while I open them up. I've been eyeing this guy for a very long time now. He originally came up for pre-order back in 2020, but for whatever reason, I just couldn't justify spending the $1,000 plus for retail. But fast forward a few months, I've been looking at him constantly. I finally found him for about $2,400 on a website. It was the last one in stock. Paid that, got him shipped over. He was on a boat for 2.5 months, and he sailed the seas. Ooh! I really wish I had a proper setup so I can show everything. Instruction manual here, that looks pretty good. Hopefully you guys can see it. And a lot of plastic and a big box. This weighs about 70 pounds or 33.5 kilograms. So 2-person job, don't do it yourself. That being said, I only have myself here right now. Okay, so as far as I know, there are 4 different edition sizes. There's one for global, one for Taiwan, one for Korea, and one for China. This is number 202 out of 338, and I believe this is the Chinese domestic model that I got. Probably not the best thing to try to unbox live. Okay, I forgot to mention, this is also officially licensed, so that's another contributing factor of why the initial price is so high. If you buy something that is unlicensed and to scale, which is 1/6, you're probably looking at around $500 to $600 retail instead of double. But that's what you get for wanting to support the company who makes this stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the box. It's a very nice box, kind of plain. Got Chinese on the front, I can't read that. I'm assuming it means Thunder God. Oh, yeah, a little bit of damage here. You can see Enel in all his glory. It's a very basic box, really. Oh, it's gonna hit the mic. Yep. We have a letter of authenticity from Jimei Palace themselves. They did also stamp the back, which is really nice. I'll put this off to the side for now. We got a nice pair of unpackaging or unboxing gloves. That's really cool, that's a nice touch. And it has straps to make sure you can pull it out. So I think that's what we're gonna use. Just gonna... The assembly took a little bit longer than I first anticipated. It reminded me of building Gundam model kits, but instead of a well laid out manual, it was like using a IKEA furniture manual. So safe to say it does need a little bit of improvement, but you can eventually get your way through it. The only real tricky parts were the 2 whiskers on the dragon head. They have 2 points of connection, and you gotta kind of fiddle around with them a little bit. They also somehow forgot to embed the corresponding magnet to a few of the pieces. The most notable one is this sash that goes on Enel's hip or waist. It has the magnet here, but it doesn't have it in the body, so I can't actually attach this. I tried with blue tack, and that doesn't stay on at all. So I'm thinking maybe I will try to drill a hole into Enel at some point and attach my own magnet. Also, the earlobe on his right giant Amuru form doesn't actually have a magnet on the inside there, but that one is being held up with friction, so not a big deal at all. This 1/6 scale behemoth measures in at a staggering 2 feet or 62 centimeters tall. And just like how Kaido, that I reviewed previously, dwarfed the other Portrait of Pirates figures, this Enel in turn dwarfs Kaido. Since he's made primarily of resin, it shouldn't be a surprise that he's very heavy, weighing in at 66 pounds or 30 kilograms. There's no detolf in the world that can contain this god, but I hope my IKEA dresser doesn't collapse when I put him on here. I honestly think that Jimei Palace has made the definitive Enel figure, or statue in this case, out in the market. Nothing else comes close at all. The only thing that's honestly this comparable would be the BP one or Black Pearl one, and that was Jimei Palace's previous persona before they became fully licensed. So they're basically just competing with themselves. Despite the heavy weight, he's actually not the most sturdy out there. There is a bit of wiggle room and a bit of play, but I think that's kind of a normal thing when it comes to resin. Not everything's gonna snap 100% in there, but since he's so heavy and he's so precious, you're probably not gonna move him around too much anyways. Thematically, I think he's perfect. He has that godlike aura around him while he's floating in the air right above the golden city of Chandara, and he's holding his nice golden staff while seemingly waving you on and summoning his Thunder Dragon and his max 200 million volt Amuru form. He's pretty much squatted up and ready to mess you up, so you might want to move out of his way. I really love the use of clouds on this statue. It helps kind of tie everything together and fill in all the gaps. Not to mention, this entire arc was based in the clouds and a sea of clouds was present, so it's just perfectly tied in and I love it. The major highlight of the statue for me has to be the extensive use of blue resin on him. It's all throughout and it makes up all the girth and all the weight. I think this is the best way to showcase the abilities of a Logia in One Piece, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to collect a few more of these masterpieces and add them to my collection, you know, like the Aokiji, and I may have gotten some other stuff that I haven't told you about. Another cool design element that they added was this giant scientific but also kind of ancient looking thunder disc thing. It's really nice because it helps break up the colors between Enel himself and the massive amount of blue behind him. So this is kind of necessary and a very, very nice design choice. Honestly, if this was all we got from Jimei Palace, I'd be completely satisfied. But they also included a few more party tricks. We have a dedicated power source for the LEDs that are in here, and also it's voice controlled. Although I can't get it to work. I think it only speaks Mandarin, but even still, I can't get it to work. On the back of the base, you can change it into 2 different lighting modes. One is a solid color mode and a flickering mode. Of course, you're gonna have to kind of dim the lights a little bit in order to see it because it's not the strongest LEDs out there. The only real design flaw on this entire statue is where the staff and the hand meet. The connection point is non-existent, and you actually need blue tack for that. Now, although I already knew this going in, it's still kind of upsetting when you have to place it in there. It's sad to see that there's no magnet or peg hole system. For $1,000, this should be standard. As for the paint, it's overall pretty decent. Maybe not $1,000 worth decent, but it's alright. You will, however, find a great deal of airbrush work for all the shading and highlights all throughout the statue. You'll mainly find it on the smaller, finer detail areas like the muscles, veins, clothes, clouds, and even on some of the clear blue resin to make things pop out a little bit. If you look closely, there's also a healthy serving of silver dry brushing and also a weathering wash on all of the golden Shandorian buildings. Also the bell. This makes for a nice contrast with everything else and gives it great depth. The pattern portions of Enel's pants are great from a distance, but if you look really close and examine it, you'll start to see a lot of the little flaws come out. It looks like they went with hand brushing instead of maybe masking and airbrush work here, so it kind of stands out and mine kind of looks shoddy. I think Jimei Palace did an amazing job of bringing this Enel to life, and despite its many quirks, flaws, and quality control issues, I still consider him a holy grail and masterpiece. If I had to do it all over again, I absolutely would, even at that inflated price, because he is my holy grail. And My definition of one is something that you cannot live without. If I had to stop completely collecting tomorrow, I'd be completely happy just having this guy around. Not that I would do that though. There's way too many rems to collect still. Hopefully you guys will pick up your Holy Grail at some point in the future. In the meantime, I have some dusting to do. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna probably go do that. If you want to see how I dust him or clean him, go check out the video over here. And I also have a haul video down below. I'm broke, and I will see you next time. Bye.